They're all printed goods. Have you ever wondered where it all started?
Was it invented in the 80s?
No.
Was it invented in the 50s?
Definitely not. So, when was Johannes Gutenberg's printing press invented?
It was invented in 1442, which was during the Renaissance. The Renaissance era was from the 14th century to the 17th century. The Renaissance era is known as the Rebirth era, since Renaissance in French means rebirth. The Renaissance had some of the best inventions, art, and music. Even though it had all that, one thing was lacking. The peasants, or ordinary people, were not educated. Believe it or not, the majority of people would die without ever seeing a book. The Catholic Church was a large part of the Renaissance era. The Church controlled everything, including the education of the people. Almost all of the people did not know how to read or write. A small number of the people who would know how to read and write, besides the priests, would be taught merchants. Why would the Church do this to the people? The Church did not want the people to know how to read or write for the reason that they would lose power over the people. Due to the fact the people were not well educated, the priests could tell them pretty much anything, and they would believe it. Besides the Church controlling the people's education, books were very scarce, because books were handwritten. Most of the time, books would be written in a room in a large monastery called a scriptorium. There, the books would be written by a monk with quail feathers and ink to write on parchment. They had to be extremely careful when writing a book because if they made one mistake, they would have to start all over. Therefore, books took a long time to make. A small book would take a few months, and a large book could take several years. Finally, someone had came up with the idea of movable type. His name is Johannes Gutenberg. All we know about Johann's early life is that he was born in Mainz, Germany around 1395 and that he was the son of a goldsmith. But the rest is a mystery. As Gutenberg grew older, he began to fancy inventing things. Around 1430, Gutenberg moves to Strasbourg, Germany. There he found a ruined building. He decided that he would fix one of the rooms in the building and use it as his workshop. So that's what he did. Gutenberg did so many experiments trying to perfect his movable type. He tried using letters carved out of wood in his machine. It was unsuccessful. He tried metal letters. They were successful. In 1442, Gutenberg did it. He created a printing press with movable type. He used a screw press and oil-based ink along with the movable metal letters. His machine could print up to 1,000 copies of the same page. After Gutenberg invented the printing press, he had the urge to make a Bible, although he didn't have enough money to make a Bible. So he borrowed money from a goldsmith in Mainz. The goldsmith's name was Faust. Once Gutenberg had the money to finish the Bible, he did. In 1454, Gutenberg had finished his Bible. Each Bible had 1,282 pages, and each page was 42 lines. He made a total of 180 Bibles. But of course, great inventions come great opposition. The church and the elites did not like the idea that the peasants would be able to learn how to read Gutenberg's 42-line Bible. The church formed a Protestant Reformation led by Martin Luther. Whoa, that's crazy. And to top it all off, Faust wanted his money back. But Gutenberg wasn't able to give Faust his money because he spent all of it making his Bible. So Faust and Gutenberg went to court, and Faust won the case. What does that mean for Gutenberg? That means that Gutenberg had lost his printing press, Bibles, and tools to Faust. Poor Gutenberg. After that, Gutenberg lived the rest of his life poor, and he died in 1468. But his invention spread throughout Europe and eventually the world. Even today, scholars and professors name Gutenberg's invention the best in the millennium.